We are here with Andrea Ferroni. Where am I reaching you?
I'm in Toronto.
Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
And why are we speaking today, Andrea?
Well, I'm assuming that we are discussing the hybrid scene, whether it be HYROX, DECA. There's a lot going on lately with the hybrid racing world.
Right. And you are also a judge person.
I am. I am a head judge. Been a head judge for about 3 years.
So I think we should start there. And I know you've heard us discuss it. So I guess first of all, what are we getting right? And is there anything you'd like to clear up that we might be misinformed on?
I think we're doing a lot of things right. I think with the growth of the sport, especially because it grew so fast, particularly here in Canada, I think like the organization is great. Our leaders, our race directors are doing a great job. We have like head judge chats, we have forms and links that we have to follow and protocols. But I think what's happening is because it grew so fast, it's kind of like adding an addition to your house when you have a leak in one of your rooms. So I think sometimes we need to kind of scale back, fix the things that aren't working before we focus on forward growth. I think as a whole with the sport, but particularly now we're doing core judge instead of just head judges for the event. So you have to
Yeah,
apply.
we just heard about that. We talked about it last night. I know Kevin Gregory has applied for it, and several people have actually messaged me that they're in the process of applying for it. Can you explain what those different roles are and what the initial process was? Cheryl mentioned there was like a lengthy kind of even just to kind of get the information, which I
Yeah.
think is a great way to weed people out who aren't
There,
serious.
there is. So, you can still, volunteer if you wish, but if you wanted to be a head judge for specific events, you can also do that. But now we have like a hierarchy of head judges, and as we know, you have like your North American directors, you have your race directors, and your assistant race directors. But now we have what we call core head judges, which I think the idea is to kind of go around like on tour, and you'd have your, let's say, for myself if I can do most of the Canadian events and maybe a couple of, Chicago or DC, the expectation is that we are available either partially or for the full event. So that would entail sometimes us being there from Thursday until Sunday evening. So if you're racing, it could pose a challenge if you're going for a PB or podium because you're on your feet all day, you're overstimulated, you're not eating properly, you're not hydrated properly.
I'm
So,
overstimulated every time.
right? Yeah,
That's all I am is overstimulated.
I know. That's the world we live in. I live in zone 5 and overstimulation. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. But having judged and having felt that, let's say my race is on a Sunday and I'm judging the Saturday evening shift, you're exhausted. So I think it's great. The core head judge, in theory, I think it's going to be very difficult. Your accommodation that would be paid for. I'm assuming they're going to lodge us with another head judge, but I also think it might deter people because if unless you work at a gym or you have a job that's remote, a lot of us can't get that free time. I'm a teacher, so I can't be sick on Wednesday night to fly out, judge Thursday, Friday, race maybe one or two races, and then fly home on a Monday morning. I have to be at work at Monday morning. So the requirement is you should be there until until the last wall ball, which we love. We love to cheer those people on, but I think it's a little bit limiting. So I'm curious to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, so what I've been told is there's a payment, what it like per shift. So are shifts 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours?
So typically it's on paper, it's like 8 or 9. But if, for example, it was the last race, Ottawa, that relay comes out and they take a little bit longer, and I'm on lunges, I could leave if my station's done, but if the expectation is we all go to wall balls and we cheer them on, and I honestly think it's one of the best parts. So you end up being there for like 10 hours.
So let's break this down a little bit. Um, because clearly they have no problem selling tickets on these days, right? These
No.
Wednesdays and now in New York and London and forget one other city, we're going to always have these like 2 weeks in a row events with maybe
Yeah.
1 day break in between. So, the expectation, I guess, is
Let's see.
the expectation is, what if, like, do you think you'll be chosen? Like, first priority would be, let's say, Joe from Joe's Fitness Box, which we shouted out yesterday. Let's say Joe is like, I'm available the whole time. Boom, he gets first priority. But then as they go down, they run into the Andreas of the world and many other people that like kids, life, whatever. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, we can't use you, but it's still worth flying you out because you can do Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I don't think they're going to be able to get 100% people who can do all of them all the time.
No, and I think like I mean, I've been judging for a while. I was actually the third coach in Canada. Watched the evolution of the sport
Hang on
since.
now. Hang on now. Let's go through then. Let's back up. Who is coach number one?
So there were two. These are the people that were publicly posting. There were about six of us. So Mike and Maria Fetchick in Burlington.
Okay.
Um, that's kind of where the first, not kind of, the first Canadian HYROX affiliate started
Right.
before it came to Toronto. So just like being part of it and advocating for it, kind of coercing people to join. I've seen the evolution and I have like a really like strong passion for the sport. So I love to judge it, but for me as a judge, knowing the standards, implementing the standards, you might lose someone like me who's a good judge who loves the sport and the people in the community because I can't work a full weekend.
Right. But I'm saying I don't think they're at a point where they can get 100% commitment from, like, some people can and some people can, I guess is what I'm saying. And I'm curious to what their head judge. I mean, we were calling them white shirts, but I don't know what you guys are going to do now because you've got
Oh,
core and head and whatever else. Um,
we
the
might need a
minimum,
different color.
the minimum required for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many? Let's just call them white shirts for the weekend
Yeah,
you need, because again, I still think it'll be worth it for them to pay y'all for your time and your travel, as they grow this thing. And then maybe at some point, yeah, you'll have to work. They'll expect people to have but basically then it's like a full-time job. You know what I mean?
it
We've got
is.
14 North American events, which may or may not be out by the time this comes out. Wednesday, tomorrow, this thing is supposed to launch. It's Tuesday right now. 14, but that's North America. That's including all the way down in Guadalajara. And let's say, and that's in half a season. So 24, 25 in a full year, which still like isn't enough for someone to work full time.
It,
In Europe, they could probably give people full time jobs. In Europe, they got to have 50 weeks, right? If we have 25.
Absolutely. And I think, I mean, if you expanded our like the geographical catchment, like if we were able to do, let's say, as a core judge for Canada, which we only have right now, three races, and then you give two races in the United States, maybe you add in European races. I don't know how they're going to make that worthwhile, but having to commit to 4 or 5 races plus racing yourself, I
Right. Would they give you Vancouver, or would they give that to the West Coast, which is Phoenix, Vegas, now Portland, Anaheim, San Diego?
which is a great question. I would think like when we fill out, so we had an interest form. This is another thing. We had so many forms. The forms are getting lost, forms aren't getting filled out. So we're all kind of in the same chat, confused, asking the same questions. And I'm a teacher, so I know this. Like you can give the same instructions and someone's going to be lost, but myself included, I filled out an interest form, thought it was good. And then I got another form and this was like the core judge interest if you were interested in, I guess, moving up in the hierarchy, which I mean, I would love to, but I also in the realm of what I do for a living, it's not feasible for me. And then we have an additional form that you fill out with your availability. So it gives all of the races up until well, what's been released, and if you're available partial or for full. So there's all these forms to fill out. So we don't know if we're going to end up, am I going to have 3 races? Are they going to be all Canadian because I am Canadian? Or like you said, are they going to give it to other people? So I think a lot of it's up in the air. And like I said, I think that in theory, it's great. I'm hoping that it continues on this trajectory and there is some organization to it. But we're all kind of left in the dark right now. We don't know. We're waiting for that email because until we get the email, we don't know where we stand. Like, do I apply for Toronto as a regular judge or am I going to be a core judge? So it's kind of all up in the air right now.
If you get one of these slots, core judge, does this mean you are guaranteed to race, or you have to do the volunteer purchase just like everybody else and hope for the best?
So that's a good question, actually. I don't know if we're guaranteed to race or if we actually have to purchase the ticket separately. I should probably reread the document because if I have to purchase my ticket, that would be interesting. I'm already having difficulty as a performance coach getting tickets with my early access.
Right.
So,
That's what I'm saying. Is so will
yeah.
they like hold back? Because they already have guaranteed if you're in the top, I think 30 or 50 for Elite 15 and you ask for it soon enough, I think you're guaranteed a ticket. I mean, they still have to pay for it, but they're guaranteed the
But
ticket.
they're guaranteed.
And now you guys, like, that's a lot of people, like judges. Like, I mean, it's a quality problem from where they're concerned. And I don't think one they ever imagined. I mean, I'm sure that Mo and Christian had big goals, but I don't think they could have imagined that this would be a fucking worldwide fitness movement.
No, I don't think so either. I remember when we first launched HYROX in like the first Canadian race in 2004 in Toronto. I wasn't scheduled to judge until the Sunday.
2024 in Toronto.
Yeah.
You said
Yeah.
2004, I think.
Oh, sorry. I'm old. Yeah.
I
So
was there, by the way. Did we see each other? I was there in 24.
were you?
Yeah, and I remember the Sunday was actually really slow, and now I'm sure it's mobbed. But I remember that first weekend, the Sunday was like kind of dead.
It was kind of dead, and so I was judging that day, but the Saturday I raced and I finished my race, didn't even grab water. I noticed that there was a lineup. We had a queue for wall balls. Not only did we not have a space for them to do the wall balls, but we didn't have enough judges.
Oh no.
I said to one of the judges, "Hey, I don't have my shirt yet. I'm judging tomorrow. I'm qualified, etc." I jumped over the barricade with my Toronto HYROX shirt. It was black. I had purple race shorts on, and I judged for 6 hours, and then got up and judged the next morning. I remember saying to Yusuf, "I'm really tired. I judged the night before, but I'm scheduled today." So but we didn't have enough because at the time, not only was it new, so people weren't sure. They didn't know if they were qualified. Would they, would people judge them for being a judge if they had just entered the sport? But now there's an incentive, right? So, I mean, we were still paid, but now there's more of an incentive to be a head judge.
So there was back then. There was you said Mike and Maria and you. When did Jay start?
So Jay came, he moved here, I think it was the year after, and then was appointed as the regional manager. And he's done an amazing job at growing the sport and getting the sponsorships. Then there was like people like Robbie Moss was a coach in Toronto. Yeah, there were about, I think the first race in 2022 that I did in Chicago, there were 6 of us Canadians staying there, which was pretty cool. And now, I mean, the growth is just unimaginable, but we knew it would take off. It's such an accessible sport.
So we've got Toronto and Ottawa. Is there a Montreal race yet?
The rumorings are that they're going to be there's going to be Montreal. I'm not sure when that would be positioned, just given how many races there are. I think for Canadians, it works really well when it's on a long weekend. So, like Ottawa's was fantastic, right? Because